everybody, and welcome back to Gophers Dynasty. This is the start of year 3. Now, we came into this series wanting to win a national championship, wanting to win a Big Ten championship, and we've not done either of those two things. In fact, we've won 2 cruddy bowl games, and no players were drafted last year. It's not great. Year 1, pretty underwhelming. Year 2, pretty disappointing. This is kind of a make or break season for us here in 2026. Let's start this off with a overview of the roster here. The highest rated quarterback on our roster is Steve Theus, 78 playing up to an 81. Now, he did show signs of greatness last year. We did bring in a new offensive coordinator. I don't know if you watched the offseason video or not, but we did that. And all of our quarterbacks have seemed to really pick up this new offense. I'm looking for big things. With Theus, he is a sophomore. He wasn't redshirted his freshman year, which leaves him eligible to receive the red shirt this year. And I mean, his attributes look good. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a little bit of a dog in him. He can make basically any throw that you need. He's got good speed. I could see a little more acceleration, a little better agility out of him would be nice, but kind of like turning a boat when you're running with him. But overall, a very athletic kid, and I think he has a bright future ahead of him in the program, whether that's this year or in the years to come. And the reason that I would not have him be the starter is because of this kid, David Kern, the true freshman. He's a lower overall, but I mean, as a scrambler, the kid's electric. He's absolutely exciting to watch, and he has a deal breaker, pro potential. I don't know how I'm going to upgrade the Gophers to being a B- pro potential. That seems ridiculous. If we look at the overall roster, I don't know who of my guys are going to be drafted this year. So this Georgia quarterback might be hitting the transfer portal. So if I redshirt him this year, which I'd love to do, we might not get to play with him at all by the end of the year, right? And I would really like to see him get out there a little bit. So maybe I'll do a dual quarterback type of a game plan, right? Maybe we'll mix in David Kern into the offense as well as Steve Theus. That could be an idea. I'm not totally sold. I mean, it's frustrating. These deal breakers are killing me. Speaking of killing me, Dylan Whitkey going into his junior year probably won't see the field at all, right? I mean, I hope he doesn't. If Dylan Whitkey is playing this season, bad things have happened, which is really tragic because I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's got a pretty high potential bar, but he's just not working out for us. That nice year 1 was followed up with a pretty crap year 2, and we had to look elsewhere for the starting quarterback. But, maybe in a blowout, we'll bring him in and he'll relive some of the glory days. That is if we don't put Stephon Dragos in. I mean, this kid is this kid is low rated, and I don't expect him to do a lot. I do like his physical and mental traits. But yeah, he came in last year. We put the red shirt on him. I think he played in 1 game, and he didn't look very well. He was pretty overwhelmed. I think it was the Northwestern game, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, he was pretty overwhelmed overall. Wasn't too impressed. So we'll probably just have him ride the bench this year, and maybe he can develop a little more down the road, but we'll see. And another development guy here in Aiden Lewis came in as a 3-star recruit. Good height on him at 6'4", could put it on a couple pounds at 186. He's got good speed. He's got decent decision making. His arm is adequate, but yeah, he's going to be redshirted this year, and I don't expect him to start. I mean, maybe if he has a big year on the bench, but I mean, I wouldn't even expect next year to see Aiden Lewis out there. And we're actually kind of in the same spot with Steve Theus as we are with Cam Cook. Kid came in as a true freshman, looked really good, looked really exciting, got the run game going, dealt with some injury problems down the stretch of the season. Hopefully those will be taken care of this year. But I mean, does he start? Do I put him in there? Because he's the 4th highest rated on the depth chart at a 73 overall. That's not, I mean, not that ratings make all the difference, but it kind of makes a little bit of a difference. We went out and got this Aiden Lafferty transfer kid. He's looked exciting in camp, a good catcher. Think of like Christian McCaffrey. I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey because he's white, but I mean, I kind of am. Yeah, 94 speed, good acceleration. I mean, he's looking He's looking pretty fun. Maybe not as a running back, maybe more of a receiver. But we also have Lamar Ingold, who did get the red shirt last year, despite seeing a little bit of playing time. He's also got nice speed. He's very shifty, very, very quick. I'd love to see him get on the field a bunch this year. And then we have the sophomore Emory Godfrey, 6', 213. He's got decent size for an elusive back. Not the greatest speed, but I mean, I would also like Emory Godfrey to get out there and get a decent amount of snaps. But like, what am I meant to do with Cam Cook then, right? Like, if I go Lafferty, Ingold, and Godfrey, Cam Cook gets the red shirt. That primes him for next year, and we will be losing out on Lafferty. I mean, that's probably what we'll start the season off with, but if the running game looks just as dead as last start of the season, and Cam Cook is the answer, and I don't go with him, that wouldn't look good. Although with this new offense, we are looking for a lot more passing, and Godfrey, Lafferty, Ingold are all a little bit better in that category than Cam Cook is. On the back end of the running back room, we've got Tyrone Bigsby. I mean, he's a guy who plays for us. We also have Hugh Horan, who's another guy who plays for us. Don't expect a whole lot of them. Maybe we'll see something, but it's not 100%. Then obviously the true freshman Troy Keenroy, who looked really fun. I might be saying something silly here, but Troy Keenroy, that might be the starter the years to come, because he looks exciting.
I don't really remember where Kari Robles came from. I guess I see right there, it's Norfolk, Nebraska.
But I don't know why he's shot up to our #1 wide receiver as a sophomore. He may have been a walk-on on season 1. That's actually probably what happened. I should go back and double check. Yeah, I actually just went back and double checked. He was a walk-on in season 1. Completely under the radar, and now he's shot all the way up to the starting wide receiver position. 6 foot, 180, okay size. Not super in love with it, but he's gone out there in camp and really proved that he wants to be on this team and he wants to make an impact. So he'll be doing more than just kick returning, which is what we had him doing last year. Speaking of guys from last year, TJ McWilliams completely exploded onto the scene during his sophomore season. Expecting big things out of him this year. I did have a little bit of concern with all of his drops. He actually dropped the ball second most of any of our wide receivers last year. But he's got good speed, great acceleration, his ability to get open and make yards after catch. I mean, that stuff is really hard to teach, and he's just naturally gifted at it. So expect him to be a big focus this year. As for Conrad Thorne, he had a really, really rough true freshman season, right? He accounted for, was it 11 or 12 drops? It was tough. It was really, really tough dealing with him, but he's committed himself to getting better at catching. His speed is great. His acceleration is great. His agility is really, really good. He's looking to kind of have a rebound season. I have the opportunity to put the red shirt on him as well, but I don't think I'm going to, just based on the other talent that we have around him not being the best. Speaking of committing to becoming a better receiver, 86 catching is actually tied for the lead of all of our wideouts here. Kristen Hoskins is really, I mean, he's committed himself to the program. It's his senior year. He was the slot guy starting the season last year. Just had that big drop against Central Michigan, and we took him out of the starting position. Thought about kicking him off the team, but you know, he's a Minnesota kid. I like him. I think he's got a decent amount of talent, so we'll try to be mixing him in to the offense this year. Speaking of disappointment, I got this transfer, Keyshawn Robinson. He didn't really see the field at all last year, and I had big plans for him. They just didn't work out. Maybe that changes this year. He has increased to 99 speed, which is nuts. We'll be working hard to get him onto the field and get him in a position where he can use that athleticism to do some damage. The kid isn't the best at catching, but you know, look for jet sweeps or screens, stuff where he can just get the ball, get some space, and make a difference. As for difference makers, Byron Dukes is a 5-star, 6'6", 208, really, really nice player. Good speed, good acceleration. I mean, again, 6'6", you can't teach people to be 6'6", right? But unfortunately, the kid's got a pro potential deal breaker, which means he may not be here next year. So I would love to redshirt him and just watch him develop for next year, but he may not be here next year, so we're going to have to force him into a starting position, which, I mean, We saw how well that worked out last year with Conrad Thorne making a true freshman play wide receiver. But maybe if he's not the starter, maybe if he doesn't have that pressure on him, he can really focus on just making the catch when he needs to make it. As for the kids who will be redshirted, Corbin Silvestro, he's a good-looking player, nice speed, good acceleration, great agility. He will be redshirted. We'll look for him in the years to come. Same with John D'Imperio and the Minnesota kid Tua Vea. All three of those kids will be hitting that red shirt, and we'll just try to develop them into next year. The same way we kind of developed David Hunt. I don't expect him to see the field almost at all, but I mean, if he does, there's a lot worse wide receivers in the country than David Hunt as our number 5 guy. Jumping over to tight ends, I am ecstatic to watch Shakir Groves light this place up. The kid came in last year a little bit light, but with good athleticism. So we put on a little bit of weight, and he just developed as a really, really good tight end. At least on paper, 85 speed, 88 acceleration, 88 agility. That's better than some wide receivers. Catching only at 82, so we could see that improve in the years to come. But as a redshirted freshman, I'm expecting him to absolutely lose it. We have to do more. Jamison Gears was the starter last year, ended this season with like 300 yards through the air and a touchdown. That cannot happen with Shakir Groves. This Marshall, Minnesota kid's got to just light this place on fire. Backing him up, we have the same kids as last year, Jacob Simpson and Julian Johnson. They are definitely football players. We also brought in David Allman and Dakota Falk. Both will be getting the red shirt, and they're pretty different players. David Allman needs to put on some weight. He's only at 221. Dakota Falk, 6'5", 253. That's a really nice size for a tight end. Hopefully he can make a difference next year, maybe a couple years from now. Small shift on the offensive line. Nathan Roy is our star on that left tackle position. He's really good, up to an 86 overall, playing to an 88. Expect him to be locking people down, hopefully, all year round. We've got the redshirted freshman Bobby Matthews coming in to replace Tony Nelson. Bobby is way more of a pass blocking offensive lineman than a run, which is what we need. Our offensive line last year was bad. Hopefully that changes up this year with the addition of Bobby Matthews. Same center as last year, Ashton Beers. Hopefully another year of development will get his play elevated a bit. He was a little bit of a liability last year. The right guard, Jerome Williams, will be starting, and we moved the last year's right guard to right tackle. I will say, unfortunately, Jawan Baggett has that pro potential deal breaker as well. He'll get the red shirt, and he just may not be a Gopher really beyond this year. Although Russ Berryman looks really, really good. Redshirted this year, but next year he'll definitely be the starter. Starting defensive line is the same as last year, only better because of another year of development. Adam Kasai came onto the stage and just wrecked people. He's big, he's fast, he's an excellent pass rusher. Jackson Howard and Hayden Schwartz, these guys are mad. They get after the quarterback like nobody's business. Good size, good speed. They're a little light in the run stopping category. We may be looking to change up the defense next year, but with right now, I think the way we're running it is going to be for the best. Carter Menz also is a real guy, so I won't say anything mean about him, but 220, 6'5". Come on, brother, what are you doing? The middle of the defensive line will have to carry a lot of the weight in terms of stopping the run. Martin Owosu is 300 pounds. That's going to be nice. Theoren Randall, also 300 pounds. The true freshman Ben Cobbs is coming in. He's a really good player. Really good speed for 300-pounder, but he's got that deal breaker, so he probably won't be playing past this year. Would love to redshirt him, not going to based on that. He'll play substantial amount. He's been tearing it up in preseason as well. So overall, the defensive line looks really good for rushing the passer, not the best at stopping the run. Luckily, a lot of college football is passing all the time. Joey Gerlach is the highest rated outside linebacker that we have, but I think he's going to be playing second fiddle to Marco Grimm. Grimm has a little bit better size for what I want at 238. He's a little better at stopping the run, which I just kind of went over with the defensive line struggles. We'll probably be needing the linebackers to make an impact there. The huge get Nolan Dell, he's going to be a monster in the years to come, but redshirted this year, he's already at 85 speed, at 6 foot 236. That he's going to be a tank. As for this year, he's just going to be getting that red shirt, watching the other fellas play. As for right outside linebackers, Tyler Stolsky is the highest rated, but I don't expect him to see much of the field at all, right? Maybe the same as last year. We also have Tyrone Rathman, Tangelo, and Awesome, those true freshmen. Both of them will be getting redshirted, and you know, we'll see what you can do next year. Middle linebacker Maverick Baranowski, he's insane. I'm so happy to use him again. Unfortunately, it's his senior year. Replacing him is going to be tough. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll have to figure something out. Anthony Coker is kind of going to be our flex player in the way that Coleman Bryson was last year. He's big, 242, but he's got 88 speed. Okay, so if we can develop him into a proper linebacker, I mean, we might have something. We might have something here with this Anthony Coker kid. Top-rated cornerback is Kerry Brown again. He was, you know, the former safety, swapped over to corner. Now he's just kicking butt. 5'10's not the best, 180's not the best, but what are you going to do? Good acceleration, good agility. He's actually maxed out at 99 change of direction, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, he'll be the starting cornerback, and we'll probably put him in the slot as well. On the other side, it's a decision. Theo Newsome versus Bernie Nicholson. Theo Newsome was kind of a liability last year. He made a couple plays for us, but overall, I just don't think he has what it takes, and it is his senior year. I think he'll be pushed down the depth chart for Bernie Nicholson, this redshirted freshman coming in 6'2", 200 pounds, good speed, not the greatest acceleration, not the greatest agility, but he actually has the best man coverage of anyone on our team. So I will be throwing him as the second cornerback, and then obviously when Kerry Brown goes to the slot, Theo Newsome will be taking over his position. We also have Zaquan Bryant, going to keep doing what he does, which is making plays when he gets into the game. The last four guys, Devontae Burns and Brian Camerata, hopefully they don't see the field at all, or things have gone poorly. We also have a couple true freshmen that will get redshirted as well. Coy Purich didn't see the development boost that I thought he was going to see. As a sophomore, he's fine, 81 overall. I mean, he's making plays for us, but he's just not being upgraded for some reason. Pretty frustrating, but he'll keep doing what Coy Purich does, which is kill people when they come close to his area. Backing him up, we've got Jazz Weber. We also have Dwayne Fields. I might be moving him to linebacker though. I think he fits that position a little better. This will be his second year as a safety, or I kick him over to linebacker. Hopefully he can upgrade his zone coverage ability. That would be swell. Coleman Bryson was the flex player last year in the defense. He did very well in that position, and now he will be the starting safety. A couple years ago he started for us, and he's just back to where he should be. Blair Schlonhorst is the backup for him. We also got a couple more guys that don't matter whatsoever. Devin Pride, our kicker. I mean, he was good. I think he missed one. He missed one last year, and it was in a bowl game, if I remember correctly. He was solid. Yeah, only one missed last year in a bowl game, and only one missed extra point. He'll be sticking around for a little while longer. We did have a development boost for Zach Harris, the walk-on from last year. That kid, 5'8", 176, he'll be starting as punter, as Peter Bridges, who's got all those wonderful traits. He'll be taking the red shirt this year, and then we'll figure out next year which one looks but overall, I think it's an improved roster from last year. And I expect those improvements to kind of play out throughout the season. Although, I will show you a little sneak peek. We're going to start off with a bunch of scouting before we head into our first game. Episode 1 will be UCLA coming to town. Now, the last time we played UCLA, you may remember, I swore vengeance against them, and I said a bunch of really nasty things that I had to cut out of the video because you can't say certain words, or you shouldn't at least. We'll do another scouting, and then we'll be playing the hated Central Michigan Chippewas. We beat them in the bowl game. They whooped our ass last year. So this is going to be it's going to be a revenge game. We're going to have to do something against these Chippewas. Hopefully we can go into their stadium and just hang a 50 bomb on those bastards. Week 4, we've got Virginia Tech, who was the #1 team in the country going into the playoff last year. That is going to be a really, really interesting episode. I imagine I may say some curse words. Then we have Northwestern on the schedule again. This bastard team that shouldn't have ever won, and they gave us such a hard time last year. So that will be exciting. And then later in the season, we've got Michigan, the #3 team, at least in the preseason, the number 3 team in the country. That's going to be exciting. We've got Penn State. They're always fun. And then obviously we finished the season at Wisconsin. Also, hey, do you guys remember Darius Taylor, the outstanding running back that decided he didn't want to play here anymore? Mainly because I don't know how to check what people's deal breakers are or whatever. If we head over to Michigan, look at this shit, brother. Darius Taylor, 94 overall, Michigan running back. Look at these stats from last year. Are you just buckle in, okay? Brother had 1,800 yards and 26 touchdowns. That game, week 9 against Michigan, that's oh boy. Not looking forward to it at all. Remember that whole roster breakdown when I talked about how we're not great against the run? Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Anyways, let's get into scouting. That's what we should do. What do we really need in terms of players? I could see a wide receiver. I could see... That's about it. I think it's mostly defense. I think we really need to upgrade the defense. So hopefully there's some interested players. Ooh. What a lot of M's there. Alrighty, let's flip it over to any state. So, who's interested? Are there any 5-star prospects? Yes, Kevin Willett. Hello there. Let's put him on the list. R.A. Mead? Sure. 4-star prospects. This guy's number 1, so we for sure are going to go after him. Number 2, number 5 I saw with, blocking tight end. Yeah, never mind. Jadarius Hanley. You don't look like a Jadarius there, friend, but yeah, we'll take a look at him, I guess. So it is funny as I'm going around and seeing that the only guys who have interest in me are like 3-star recruits and lower. Like I'm getting a lot of non-interests from a lot of guys. So little frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. Like, look at all these 2-star recruits that are like, yeah, I'll join the Gophers. I'll join the Gophers. Okay, cool. So with quarterback, I'm going after speed alone, basically, right? Like, we can develop the other stuff, but I mean, if you start out with an 88 speed, I like that. This kid here is a 4-star, and he's a scrambler, and McCracken is as well. The other thing to take a look at is their deal breaker, right? So playing style, so coach prestige probably is not going down this year if we do well. Playing style probably will stay the same, and championship contender might actually drop because that's what happens. Just something to consider when recruiting. Not that my recruiting advice should be taken because I'm very bad at recruiting. And it looks like we have a gem here in Antoine Wells. Ah, man, it's just kind of frustrating with how recruiting has gone in the past. I'm a little bit shy. I have the 35 players picked. I don't think I'm really going to show them off until next episode, right? Because so many of these guys are just gonna bail out on me. Dante Figures is a funny name, and he's a star too. Nice. Let's get past preseason here and get into week 0, which is just going to be more scouting. I'm going to watch a lot of our guys disappear out of our lens, most likely, before we start the next, before we actually get into the game. This kid looks really good. The other teams going after him kind of scares me away a little bit, especially when we have comparable. Even with that gem on there, I think I'm going to kick him out. Oopsie. So, yeah, let's go 30 hours on McCracken and Desmond Moore. Since we don't really need a quarterback, we're kind of set in the position for a couple years. That should be fine. This kid, 6'1", 233, and he's got, I mean, pretty decent looking athletic ability. He might be fullback. I mean, he might be a fullback for us, right? Daniel Rambo looks really, really promising as well, so we'll throw some points onto this kiddo. Also, we have way less scouting hours because my assistant that quit, he was a scouter as well, and now we don't have those hours. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Let's do a 50 bomb on you. Let's see. Do 30 hours on Logan Wint. Looks really, really promising as well. This Doug Harline, he's good. Dante Figures looks good as well. So, we'll see how these guys look next week. Again, a lot of them are going to bail on us. We're not crazy in love with getting a tight end, but I think I'm going to go for just a little bit of hours. I always call them points too. They're technically hours, but I'm just going to throw 10 on each one of those and just kind of see what happens. I could see Winbush being the guy that we narrow in on. 6'3", 247. So that's fine size for a tight end. Brenton Jones, the 4-star, he really likes us, and I really like him, if you know what I mean. So yeah, 35 hours for you there, brother. Third place for Mangum. Let's, is that Mangum? That's not Mangum, that's Magum? Mangum. We're gonna call him Mangum. That's what we're gonna do. Third place for this guy here. Man, I'm already draining low on hours, and I haven't even got to, man, these guys all like us a lot. That kind of stinks. I'd like you guys to like us a little less so I can not feel so bad about kicking you out. Alrighty, and you, Josh Godhet, might be the odd man out here. We'll see. We'll see how that goes in the future. Sydney Mays, he is off the board. Alrighty, we're number 3 on Ernest Bradbury. What a name there. Silas Newton. I didn't scout him at all, but he's a 4-star, so he's going to be good, right? And Wisconsin looks like they're making a push for him. Nick Kite is an interesting name. So you get. No, actually, you don't get any hours. Yeah, you can go to hell. What you can do there, Nick. Kevin Willett is a 5-star, and I want to give him a 50. He is a bust. He's not a gem, but I mean, the more 5-stars, the better, right? That's how it works. Spriggs doesn't look super interested in us, but we gotta give him something. Same with Richard Ento here. We'll give him a couple hours. The outside linebackers, Jadarius Hanley. I might change his name. If he actually recruits, I might actually change his name. Femi North, another interesting name. And then Marquis Singleton. That's a linebacker's name right there. Oh, I need extra points for these 5-stars. That's a bother. All right, let's put figure out what we're gonna do. Man, I wish I had extra points because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 7. That's a lot. That's a lot. I might be in a little bit of trouble. I was watching a video the other day that said don't fight for 3 stars. Like if you get into a battle for a 3-star, just let him go. And I kind of like that strategy. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I kind of like that strategy. As we're going to put Ben Mama and Alani Payne at 50. Hopefully one of those guys boots us out next week, and we can just be done. These guys don't seem interested at all. They all have significant offers. Humphreys, man, just need extra points, but I don't think we're going to get them this time around. Is there anything I'm missing? I wonder. Auto subs? Oop. I don't think so. I already redshirted my players. I think I'm ready to skip to week number 1 and then just watch a lot of these guys bail out on us. That's going to be super fun. I can't wait. I just simply can't wait. Get some points back. Come on. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't put any points on these guys, though. So we'll have a little bit of points popping up here to use. And I think I'm going to handle that this episode because I have a bye week next week, which I'll do a lot of scouting after that UCLA game. So Hartline goes away. Owens goes away. Actually, let's sort like this. Neither of these quarterbacks are interested at all, and I feel like I'm wasting hours. Damn it. Okay, let's narrow in on one guy here. Do I want Desmond Moore? Even though I said don't fight for 3 stars, probably gonna do that. I think Brendan McCracken is more likely. Better speed, better acceleration, Better thrower, it looks like. Yeah, alright. Desmond Morris is gone. Brendan McCracken, you're going to get... I'll give you some extra points. Do I do a full 50? I think I'm just going to do 40 points on him. That should be fine. We take over number 1 for... Jackson looks good. Rambo's not looking interested at all. That's a bummer. We're going to keep 25 on him and see if it changes at all. It probably won't. Mead, number 2, but gaining on Mizzou. For 5 for Wint, and number 4. We should put extra points on this fella. I like him. I like how Mizzou is targeting 2 guys that I like. Bastards. Winbush, an extra. I can't give you that, so that off and give him an extra 25 hours there. Should be fine. So we just keep... Yeah, let's just keep these from moving. For 2 is fine. Oh man, once we beat if we beat the Bruins, I wonder if we'll take over that number 1 spot. These guys are looking okay as well. Centers. That Charles Dawsey, that guy's 6'4". That's I mean, that's more than just a center if he wants to be. North and Singleton are just not even remotely. Femi North is going to go play for Iowa. Let's put 25 hours onto... Wait, why would I... That doesn't make any sense. Not do that, actually. Put 5 more hours onto him. And then let's put 25 hours onto Hanley here. There you go. Alright, I found 10 more hours for Humphreys. Hopefully that changes his mind a little bit. Puts us in the running. It doesn't look like it's going to, but... Anyways, that was the preseason video for season number 3 with the Golden Gophers. See you next time for the big game against the UCLA Bruins. Hopefully I don't lose my cool. I can't imagine I would. I'm a pretty chill guy.